and tactically is going to be fascinating. The kicking strategy is going to be fascinating. And Brumby's going to kick, contest the ball, which will have ball in play, which invites Blues forward pack and mobility in that big back row. Or we're going to kick long and out, make sure that pressure in the air for line-out time and try and limit the opportunities for anything else to descend into an arm wrestle.
I think it will be a lot less aggressive due to the back three presence that the Blues have. Because I agree with Justin, man, a Mark Talaia or a Caleb Clark catching one on the full and then trying to stop them, she's tough going at the best of times. And if you get that in a disrupted defensive line, you will end up under your stick. So I don't think it will be as aggressive, but the other night it was seriously dewy. It wasn't as cold as it would have been in Canberra, but the opportunity for potentially contestables more off Noah, crossfield kicks, where you're going to have a strong line and you can sort of protect the clock in a way. You can sort of get guys in front of the ball or behind the ball and sort of work as a 5, are probably more attractive than going off 9. But you still got to catch it, and they prove to be effective. So I think we'll see a bit of it, but as we saw the Blues change their plan, they didn't do a lot of contestables against the Drua. They kept it low, looked for 50-22s and tried to play that territory battle and almost played a style that I thought said, we're in the finals now. You make the mistakes and then you let us be in the right part of the field and we'll have a crack.
Let's go into the Chiefs and the Canes before we let you go. Obviously, we got two Kiwi teams in this one. You've watched them play a fair bit of footy this year. What are you seeing from those two teams? Do you think the Chiefs have what it takes to head to Wellington and beat them at Sky Stadium?
Yeah, I think they do. I think if I'm the Hurricanes, I'm a bit worried about the Chiefs. They've proven week after week, we roll in with pre-game commentary and analysis and we talk about D-Mac, and if you shut down him, you've shut down the Chiefs. But every single time we come away going, wow, what about the other 14 players we didn't even mention? And they just create opportunity for Mackenzie for sure. But impressively, the Chiefs have been really clinical in the way that they've introduced a power game and not just a broken field score from anywhere opportunity with D-Mac or long-range penalty kicks. That they are creating, weaknesses in opposition through the strength of their forward pack. I think they've got a great forward pack. They've got a great back line. The Hurricanes have always, in my mind, been, if you were going to try and unsettle the Hurricanes, it was through their forwards. But they have addressed that to a certain degree, and that there's no secret why they're attacking so well now, as they've got a great launch platform. But I really do think Takiaho, the Chiefs, they're just power. When that body mass gets together in a Chiefs forwards pack, and I know it's not only that forwards, of course, but they create so much opportunity for Mackenzie. Everyone thinks that he just creates something out of nothing. He does. But it's because teams in front of him are fatigued from having to withstand what's coming at them in the size and shape and variety of ball runner and set piece power that the Chiefs have got at the moment.
You agree?
Yeah, well, I definitely think the Chiefs are a chance, and they're the one side, and I'll get into this a little bit later, that have put the Hurricanes under pressure defensively, but I genuinely look at it and I think both backlines are in form and they've got the skill set to score points. Like the battle of the forwards, and whoever wins that breakdown, line out, for the first time, probably the first time I've seen the Hurricanes line out struggle a little bit, so the Chiefs will be liking the look of that. And I mean, I am just salivating for this front row battle, but particularly Almore, Takiaho, like two of the most explosive hookers, the game's seen in a long time, both playing really well and looking to sort of claim a black jersey. That's going to be outstanding. But I just think the Chiefs are peaking at the right time. They've got a lot of their good players back, sort of similar to the Brumbies. They've been up and down and there's a lot of injuries, but we know this game's going to be one on collision, and if you look at that, the Canes did let the Rebels win a lot of that collision area on the weekend, so that'll be their big focus, is their pack fronting up and taking it to this Chiefs pack.
Getting it done. So you're picking the Canes or the Chiefs? What are you thinking, Justin?
See, now this is where I'm probably my heart's probably ruling my head, because when I'll just lay it down, mate. I'm unashamedly putting all of the Harrison energy into the Brumbies beating the Blues and the Chiefs beating the Canes, so that there's a home final.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I just look. I think the Chiefs are going to unsettle them. I think the Hurricanes are such. The thing about the Hurricanes is they're such a rhythm team. I don't actually feel like they're a good problem-solving team. They can be put under some consistent adversity and 2 or 3 things back-to-back go wrong for them, and they get scored against in one of those 3 and another maybe a penalty or and an injury or something. I think the Chiefs are most battle-hardened to deal with those sorts of setbacks and to expose that sort of fragility for the Canes. So I think the Chiefs are going to win.
And you touched on Damian McKenzie before. I'm interested in your point of view. We have had an email through from a guy called Matt Oosthuizen who wanted to know about Damian McKenzie and how he stands within the All Blacks scheme of things. Do you feel from where you're standing that he is the first choice 10 and he should be given that crack?
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. I don't even know why it's even a question, right? It doesn't seem to be getting the merit that he has earned. He really is one of the best performed players consistently over multiple seasons, and in that position. And then he's asked to sort of play out of position every now and then, or come off the bench, or put in some sort of 2-way tug-of-war and given equal minute. I just think that it's his position now. It's his jersey. It's his position to take the All Blacks into, the campaign, the test campaign, and then accelerate them into, and importantly, the All Blacks, they need a consistent 10. They need to really get a 9 and 10 now to take them into the next World Cup period. Knowing exactly what their cohesion model looks like, because we know that any team that's a chance of threatening the top end of the tournament and winning it, you need of course you need to scramble those sorts of things and power in your forwards, but you need a 9 and 10 that have got lots of tests together before they take the World Cup campaign together.
The other thing he says is, his defence is sometimes wanting, especially against big players. Do you agree?
I don't agree with that. The guy's got the heart. Yes. 110 kilos is always going to bowl over eventually someone of that size.
Yeah.
I've never seen a more courageous defender than Damian McKenzie. And there's so many ways you can manipulate defensive lines. I just don't buy into that.
No, I don't think at all. I don't think it's an easy thing. An easy thing to say without actually having real statistical proof that this person has no idea of how to put themselves in harm's way, because that's not true. Look at the amount of times he carries back at the teeth of defence and with ball carry. So there's no way that he has that sort of attitude in ball carry and fearlessness and then goes missing in defence. He's just, and so then you say, well, okay, what game plan has been put around him? If that's true, show me. Don't believe you, but certainly then what are you doing to rectify? Because there's been multiples of players that have been able to play test campaigns very, very well that have an opportunity to have a different type of defensive framework around them, and they'll be invited to make more sort of side-on tackles, or they'll be on the end of drift defence instead of up-front personal T-bone collisions. What's your back row doing to protect your 10? Every team in the world, every forward pack is conditioned, tight forwards particularly, to look after your 10 and 9, and that's I would question what are the other players doing to make sure Damian McKenzie's got as much protection as he needs.
They beat the Crusaders when they're red hot and they're part of their 6 winning titles, but they beat them down in Christchurch purely sometimes just on Damian's last line defence. Lester Whainuku running down the left-hand flank, and that he flies in there and puts his head in front of him and barges him out just before the try line. I don't know how you could think that.
I remember watching him tackle Nemani Nandola out in the corner. Nemani Nandola's forearms are the size of Damian McKenzie.
Yeah, no, I can't buy into that.
100%. Okay, well, despite the complete disagreement, Matt, we'll send you out the Player Sport Ball. Thank you for sending in an email, getting the boys fired up and having a chat about that. And thank you very much to you, Justin, for joining us on the show. You're a good egg, mate. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. That's great, boys. Thanks very much. And look, I'll tell you what else. That jersey, because it's the old school one, right? It's giving me
the
shivers.
'97 one.
Yeah, the amount of times I saw that run past me, I never saw what the front jersey sponsor was. I just knew the number going, Joel Gadiri, and mate, it was just Sean Fitzpatrick standing above me. The Zinzan Brook is it's giving me not Michael Jones. So there you go. I was 1997, right? I played.
Yeah.
I didn't play. Take the field, and there's a photo afterwards where we got spanked, but it was a decent game, and everyone is down in the mouth. I'm the only one smiling. I've got the big praying mantis standing there. Think this is just the greatest experience ever. I've got to play against the world 15 Auckland Blues. Like, they were just geniuses. But yeah. So there you go. Robin Brooke, what a crazy team. That Olo Brown was amazing.
It was basically the All Blacks.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it was pretty special times. Anyway, rip in.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks very much, boys.
Justin Harrison, eh? Character? Smart man.
Oh, mate, character. Character. He is just one of the funniest blokes, but a very deep thinker of the game. And I think you can see that with the way he sort of articulates his points.
Speaking of deep thinkers of the game, Bryn Hall isn't with us this week. He's off in Queenstown having a great old time. So Bryn still sent us through a message because, well, he's got some pretty big views, of course, on what's going to happen this weekend. Let's start with the Chiefs. He reckons they can get up against the Canes too.
I think for the Chiefs to have a chance against the Hurricanes this week, the contact area is going to be massive, and I thought they were able to win, a lot of those areas. I think against the Reds on the weekend, they had 13 turnovers, and that wasn't just from Jackals. That was being able to counter-ruck the Reds' ball, and I think that's they can implement that in defensively. I think they can do that on the weekend to slow down that ball. Because if you're going to give the likes of Larkai, Flanders, who else do they have there? Brad Shields and Duplessis Creefy coming off the bench. It's going to be a really long night for them. So, if you look at the Brumbies game, when they lost to the Brumbies, that area was massive. So I think, the loose forward trio and that tight five of the Chiefs will be knowing that that's what's in store for them to be able to get the job done. And I think their kicking game was really good on the weekend. They had 31 kicks. They had six kicks that were retained off a contestable of 9 or of 10. And I think the way that Sean Stevenson and Damien McKenzie off exits kicking long, I thought they were probably the best of the quarterfinals this week, being able to get out of their own half with their kicking game and I guess the length that those two have. So I think in turn, if they can get that right along with the breakdown area, which I've touched on, and the collision area defensively and attack, it'll be really big for them. And lastly, I think their phase play attack as well. If they can get that right, on the weekend, you had the second pivots, you had Damien McKenzie at the line, Sean Stevenson was out the back, and when they're getting that good go forward ball, that phase play shape that I think they've had, that was probably the best at the start of the year. We saw a little bit of that against the Reds. So if you give Narawa, obviously Nana Satoru, who I think is in great form, those guys more opportunities out on the edge. I think the Chiefs have a genuine good chance of beating the Hurricanes on the weekend, which I think is going to be a great match. Chess match between both teams, and it's been able to understand who's going to get those moments, and it's going to be a great one to watch on the weekend.
So that's the word from Bryn Hall. He thinks the Chiefs can do it against the Canes. Jipper, you've also got some ideas on this. Let's go a bit deeper.
Yeah, first off, I think the biggest thing for the Chiefs is they've been the team that sort of has shown the most impact on this Hurricanes rush defence. And I think this is not to say the Canes aren't the favourites. I think the Hurricanes are the favourites going into this game, and I think their defence is a big part of their success. But if we play it on here, we'll see 3 clips where Damien McKenzie draws out the defence by holding his feet and a nice little downline from Poihipi. Yes, they get lucky here, but you make your own luck. The Chiefs, again, if you watch from this behind angle, you just watch the line of Poihipi there, holds his feet and then punches into that hole. He's forced Jordie Barrett to go out. Brad Shields has already committed to his man. And with a rush D, if you get this wrong, you have the ability to break down their defence. A nice line from Poihipi once again, a ball out the back to Damien, holds it in 2 hands. Bounce line from Josh Ioane, but the ball out the back as well could have gone to Nanai Satoru, which creates the confusion. But then watch this 12 line again from Poihipi, brings Jordie Barrett in, and then the patience and the skill set of Damien McKenzie makes it all too easy in the end for Nawara to get the try. Now, that was the first time they played each other. Again, the Hurricanes got off to a hot start in Hamilton, but straight after the break, Selby Rickett keeps his hips square, which allows McKenzie time on the ball, a nice downline again from Luke Jacobson, but the skill of Jordie Barrett when we come out the back to bounce off and cover Poihipi out the back is the difference, but what we needed was Naholo to actually jam earlier on Etiri Nanai Saturu. That hesitation in a rush D can be taken advantage of just like that. So if they can get again to the outside channels as they've shown all season, the Chiefs are a real opportunity to take this game.
Just give him a moment to get back into his seat. Okay. Chipper,
yes.
Do you actually think that the Chiefs will do that and win?
Look, I think they'll execute it at times, but no. I think the Canes, and the reason why and I sort of said at the start of the piece, I do think the Canes are favourites, and they deserve to be favourites. And they've also got key members coming back that have proven, Asafa more for one. But the Chiefs had to make 240 tackles on the weekend. Yes, they tackled at 92%, but that's a lot of collisions versus 71 for the Canes. They're just not going to be as banged up. They're going to be fresh, and that collision area is going to be so critical. They are evenly matched. The Chiefs, you would think, defensively, they are very, very strong in the sense of they like to bang you up, but the Canes have shown all year their ability to either go around defences or through them. So I just think when the big moment has come, both times these two teams have met, the Canes have come probably out the better. And you just have to think that will continue. But there is a likelihood, I will agree, that the Chiefs could win and the Brumbies could win. But I'm definitely sticking with the Blues Canes.